Half a Day Floss Tube. This is Lynette at Homesteading on the Home Front coming to you for episode 4B. It's Friday, October 27th, 2017. I hope you've got the chance to see the first part of our video. If not, be sure to check it out. So I have some FFOs to show you, some FOs, a work in progress, and just some general updating to talk about today. The first thing I wanted to let you know is that I am shooting this video with my camera instead of the computer. It was much easier to shoot with the computer because I could see what I was doing, but the video quality just wasn't there and it was too hard to see what I was trying to show. So I'm doing it with the old-fashioned camera, which means I can't necessarily see what you can see. So there's a mirror behind there so that I can try to get an idea of, you know, where to hold things. So if you see me kind of doing this, it's because I'm trying to see the mirror. So hopefully you will notice better video quality. We'll see. The other thing I wanted to let you know is that I finally bit the bullet and joined Instagram. I want to be able to take part in some of the upcoming stitch-alongs, so I thought it was time. I still haven't figured it out. It's not very, usually I don't have problems with figuring out how to use stuff, but Instagram is not my favorite. But I'm hoping to start posting more pictures. I don't have a smartphone here. It's a dumb flip phone, so I have to figure out how to post things either using the computer or from my Kindle Fire. So I'm working on it. But thank you, Lori at Mischievous Stitches, for being one of my few subscribers. All right, so let's just get into the meat of things. This is like the third time I've tried to record this and the camera keeps shutting off, so I'm gonna try to keep things moving along so that I don't have to do this again. First things first, I had mentioned a couple episodes ago that I ordered some framing supplies and they came in. I have foam board and mat board and stitchy tape and for the mounting tape, and so I finally got a chance to work on some projects that had been sitting for a while, and I'm actually kind of pleased with the way that they came out. The first one is the Beekeeper from Plum Street. This was a special edition kit, and as soon as I saw it at Dying to Stitch, I knew I had to buy it. I loved the design. I did not love the fact that the whole design was on one sheet of paper, so it was very hard to read. And I absolutely hated the linen that came with the kit. It is 35 count natural Northern Cross linen. I did not enjoy it. But this is what it looks like. This is actually a thrift store frame. And I have another one just like it. It came, there were two of them. So I'm hoping that the other piece that she designed, the Harvest Keeper, will also be the same size and fit. I think eventually I'm going to paint the frame because I don't necessarily love it the way it is, but for now it's just fine. I'm excited to have this, you know, able to be hung. There's a few wrinkles somewhere in here, but when the glass is on it, you can't really tell. I took the glass off so there wouldn't be any glare. The second one I stitched up is from Nan at Threadwork Primitives. This is Wandering Heart. And I did make a few changes. I didn't like how it felt to me like the piece was like heavy over here and not as balanced over here. So when I stitched mine up, I changed the location of the motifs so that the biggest one was in the middle and then the two taller ones were on the side, and then the shorter squattier ones in between them. I added in the Alpha and Omega and I capitalized the V. It was not capitalized in the pattern, and I thought it should be. So, but I really enjoyed this piece. I stitched it on Weeks linen, and it's 35 count, and the color is linen also. This was a stitch along that I did with my friend Donna Ray, who you will be hearing more about. But again, I'm super stoked that I have some projects that I can actually hang up rather than keep piled up. The next FFOs you've seen before. I've showed you when I was stitching these. I just sewed them up into little pillows, and I'm pretty happy with the way they came out. I need to thank my friend Buffy, who saved me on this one. I was like 6 stitches short here and ran out of green, and her mom used to own a cross stitch shop in Georgia, and so she has lots of floss, and she had the color I needed and saved me. And so I had the originally I was going to finish these into flat ornaments, and then I realized that the stocking would be a pretty good size ornament. So I figured I'd do a pillow instead. And then I found the lace in my supplies, and I thought it would look pretty good. So I made them into the pillows. And again, I'm pretty happy with the way they came out. They're not perfect, but they'll be pretty at Christmas. I really like this one. And this was a free pattern. I put the link in one of my earlier videos, so go nab it. It's beautiful. And then my final FFO is this ornament. It's been finished since 2014. I just never did anything with it. This pattern is a freebie from Sandra at Plain and Fancy, and I will link below so that if you would like to make it, you can go get the pattern yourself. So I do have several finished objects. I mentioned in my last video that I was going to a stitching or a crafters retreat last weekend, and basically it was, we had reserved a room on base. Come stitch, come craft, come just, you know, bring whatever projects you want to work on. So 8 people said yes, they would be there, and 4 said maybe they would come, and that was fine. I didn't care. Honestly, I was all about just the time away from home to do whatever I wanted to do. So on Friday, I was there, and then 2 of my other friends showed up, and so there were 3 of us there. I was working on the Nantucket Girls sampler all day long. I started it in the morning because I just wanted to finish the whale motif that I had started. And so long about lunchtime, I finished him, and then I just wanted to keep going. So I did a couple other motifs, and then realized it was time to go home. So I had spent the whole day working on it. I didn't bring it up here with me, but really, like, you can't tell by looking at it that I really did anything. But hopefully I'll keep plugging away at it, and it'll be done before too long. I really want that one done before the end of the year, so that in January I can start another big project and not have that one hanging over my head. Then first finished object I'm going to show you are these ornaments from My Big Toe. This one was in the current Just Cross Stitch ornament issue, and this one was, I believe, in last year's. That is also a My Big Toe. So I knew that I was going to kind of make them match and stitch them using the same colors. I also changed the bottom band here because I didn't like the way it was charted. So basically I took it from here, and you know, it makes it even more obvious that they're kind of a pair or a set. So hopefully next week these will be finished. Donna Ray, who I mentioned earlier, was a dear and sent me some floss and some trim to help me finish up my ornaments. And one of the trim she sent me was this green pom-pom, and I don't know if you're going to be able to tell, but it matches perfectly. So I'm going to be using that to finish these ornaments, and hopefully can show them to you next week all finished. This one right here is from the August 2015 issue of Just Cross Stitch. They do an ornament preview, and this was in it. There's also a matching companion piece in the 2015 ornament issue itself, and that's a deer, and it says plenty here. So this was my first time stitching on Black Ada. I did it on 30 count gunmetal, and I just struggled. It took me 4 tries to get this top band correct. So I plugged away, and it did get easier. And I think part of it was that I started stitching during the day instead of at night, and so the natural daylight really helped things. And so by the time I got down here, I was whizzing right along, and I was feeling much better about things. You know, it's getting easier, and I'm almost done. And so I started from here, and I went over to here, and I got right to this last piece and realized that I was 1 stitch off. So I had to tear out this whole bottom band and start all over again. So needless to say, when I finished this, I needed a break. I was not ready to immediately go do the companion piece. So that had to be put aside. I did stitch this in DMC. I didn't use the specialty threads called for. It took me a couple tries to get the right gray. I knew I wanted something light, but the first couple of ones I tried were actually so light that you couldn't even tell the difference between the gray and the white when you stitched it. I do like the way it came out, so I definitely will stitch the other piece. It just won't be this week. The last piece I have to show you was the Give Thanks that I had started a couple weeks ago. This is from Beth Twist at Heartstring. And I finished this, and I was gonna start on a couple other autumn freebies that I have waiting to be stitched, but I just got the urge to do Christmas ornaments, and so I went with it. So Christmas ornaments. This is my work in progress. It is, where's my paper? It is Believe in Christmas, this one right here. And this is from the August 2015 ornament preview of Just Cross Stitch. The designer is Samplers Not Forgotten. And I think, I don't know if you can see this, I don't like the Believe here. And it's bigger there. To me, it looks like a pen had ink spots dripping everywhere. It's hard to read. So I'm definitely not going to stitch that. I don't even think I'm going to stitch this. I think it's just going to be the hat and ho-ho-hos, and we'll take it from there. But we'll see. I wanted something brighter and not necessarily in the prim colors that I had been using for everything else this month. So this will be finished in no time. After this, I'm hoping to download some charts. Zoe G gets the blame for this one. Bendy Stitchy had mentioned her and said go check her out, and so I did. And she was stitching a Christmas tree, and she's stitching it on white Aida and she's stitching it on off-white Aida. They both look great, and I was just immediately drawn to the Nordic look of the ornaments. And it turns out that the place on Etsy that she got it from was the same place that has a Dallow horse design that I had been hemming and hawing about. And I think that if I do them in the same colors, the tree and the Dallow horse are going to look stunning next to each other. So that's on my list of things to stitch. I don't know if I will actually get to it or not. I do have a lot of ornaments kitted up, so we'll see what I am in the mood for. And that's it as far as what I've been working on this week. I do want to share, I mentioned that Donna Ray sent some trims and floss. She also sent this May Alcott sampler. Now, in the summer of 2015, before we moved to Guam, I took my daughters there to tour Orchard House. We absolutely loved it. I don't know, there's just a spirit there that, that I don't know, I just really enjoyed my time there. I found out later that it was a place that Aunt Audrey really felt connected to as well. She had gone as a little girl with her great aunts, Lou and Lo, and Little Woman was her favorite book. And so I thought that was interesting that I kind of picked up on the same connection that she did. And then I found out after the fact that Louisa May Alcott is actually a very, 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 very distant cousin of ours. We share an ancestor who came over from England. So anyway, all that to say that I had seen this hanging at Orchard House and didn't buy the pattern and regretted it. But Donna Ray sent it. So thank you, Donna Ray. I can't wait to make this one. This one, it's charted in the pink tones. That's not how the original is. I'm almost positive the original had colors, and I'm almost positive that I have a picture of the original to refer back to. I just have to figure out which memory card that picture is on. So my plan is to stitch it with the colors and not stitch it with the pinks. But that was definitely an unexpected blessing, Donna Ray, so thank you so much. And I think that's it. Going to try to get this uploaded. Hopefully you notice an improvement in the video quality. Until next time, FLOSSTUBE, I wish you fair winds and following seas.